about to experience a KMA Entertainment presentation.
Coming to you from JiggyJaguar.com, the #1 talk show host on the net, and the ratings prove it. From Asia to Canada, the man, the myth, the legend, Jiggy Jaguar, on the Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show.
Welcome to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar Show, coast to coast, border to border, all over the World Wide Web and on 50-plus stations of the U.S. and Canada. Thanks for tuning in to the Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast from the Transmedia Worldwide Studios. In the great Salt City of Hutchinson, Kansas, we're live Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and, well, very Pacific, 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com. The podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com as soon as we get off the air. If you want to listen to us live as live can get 24/7, 365. You can do that on the TuneIn apps and Radio Loyalty at JiggyJaguar.com. This first segment of the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Jordan's Juice Barbecue Sauce. Juice it up with Jordan's. Find them online at jordansjuice.com. Frank Fernuccio today, Sonia Madison, Rachna from Popvox, our regulars. Going to be chatting with two incredible guests. Got to find the list here. Dr. Sherry Meinberg and Lloyd Wright will join us in this broadcast, as well as Robert Mazer, Robert Patrick Lewis, and Ron McMillan. Ryan O'Reilly as well. We're going to try to interview Allura today, the Art of Charm. And we're going to see if this actually will happen. I'm not holding out a lot of hope that it will. Not holding a lot of hope out, kids. www.JiggyJaguar.com is the place to be. And if you go over to JiggyJaguar.com, you can get an opportunity to click. We have a daily special over there. I am going to do this very first and last daily special. What is the daily special? I don't know what it is. No, I know what it is. Go to JiggyJaguar.com. Underneath our little scroller thing we have there, we have our daily show special. It is highlighted in blue type, and you can see it. We'll talk about it a little bit later. It is a 10% off discount from one of our sponsors. You can go over to JiggyJaguar.com and get more information on this. Facebook, if you want to get onto Facebook, it is facebook.com/TheJiggyJaguar. Also, Twitter me at JIGGYJHEUAR. What is this? I often say that on this show when I don't understand things. Jiggy Jaguar radio program is available at 267-225-4449 or 267-22-JIGGY. Earlier today, we've got... I don't understand half the time what's going on. It is... it is just... It's fabulous. That's all that can be said. It is totally, totally fabulous. Now, earlier today, I had a very nice conversation on the Facebook. We have a new, potential new guest who will join us here in several weeks. His name is Adam Thompson. Adam Thompson hosts a radio broadcast, and we are going to have him on. He is a attorney. He hosts a radio program on the Starcom Radio Network. And we will talk to him very soon on this show. He has 2 Facebook profiles. Why does he have 2 Facebook profiles? What? This guy has 2 Facebook profiles. Why? Why? Facebook profiles. I don't understand. The Adam Thompson Show, of course, is nationally syndicated through the Starcom Radio Network. And we'll talk to Adam in the next couple weeks. Going to be getting out a lot of truths. Going to be getting out a lot of issues of the day with Adam. So it should be fun. He lives in New York, New York. Speaking of New York, New York. New York City, get a rope. Talkers.com, of course, the Talkers Convention. I have been in touch. I've been in touch with Mr. Michael Harrison at the Talkers Magazine, and as I say. We are going to try to attend. In fact, we are not going to try. We are going to attend the Talkers Magazine convention in New York City in 2014. Talkers New York. Now, Talkers New York is where they have all these seminars. They have all sorts of people who show up and give presentations. They have all sorts of shenanigans going on at this thing. I am going to do my best. In fact, I'm not going to do my best. I'm going to be there. We are going to go to Talkers New York 2013. And we are going to... we're going to be there. And I hope to I am working out the details right now with Mr. Michael Harrison, although I don't think he's going to let me do it. Don't think he's going to let me do it, but I'm trying to work out a deal with Mr. Harrison to basically do this show from the event. We are going to, we're going to be there. There's going to be about 55 speakers scheduled for Talkers. There were last year. I would assume they're going to be doing it this year. About 500 people from the radio and television world show up at this thing. Sean Hannity is usually a big deal. Ed Schultz is usually there. Mike Francesa, who I make fun of on this program, from WFAN, is going to be there. We will probably bump into all sorts of people from the radio industry who just don't like me whatsoever. But we're also going to bump into people that actually do like me, including Holland Cook, who is a radio consultant, been on this program many times. We're going to, of course, we're going to be able to talk to Mr. Michael Harrison. I am in contact with the great Ed Till right now to see if Eddie Boy will meet me out there and attend the convention with me. I'm assuming that we'll see other folks there as well. Alan Combs, Glenn Beck, all sorts of people that either know us or know of us, or I know of them. Alan Combs, of course, knows of us. Glenn Beck does not know us. And we will also... I might be able to take a trip out to New York, and also I've got plans of meeting up with our frequent pal, Mr. Dr. John Tantillo, as well. It's gonna be a fun time. Talkers New York 2014 is where Jigman Fraud will be going. Now, this weekend, I don't know why I get myself into these things. I get myself into these things because I like to make a mockery of myself, and I like people to make a mockery of me. However, this weekend, at the this is going to be a trip. This is going to be a trip. That's all I gotta say. It's going to be a trip. This weekend, the Double Barrel Grill, formerly the Raz, here in Hutchinson, will be hosting my birthday roast. You know these comedy roasts you see, the Dean Martin celebrity roasts, you see the roasts of Donald Trump and Pam Anderson and these folks on the old Comedy Central. Well, we're going to do a roast of Jigman Fraud. The Jiggy Jaguar birthday roast 2013. The only reason I'm saying 2013 is because we may do this once a year. I may just do a thing on my birthday every year, depending on how this works. I may do a thing every year where we just bash me. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm having a birthday in November, and we're doing a comedy roast and a music event. The comedy roast and live music event, 12 years coming, will be playing at the end of the night. James Davis, the comedian, former Sunday radio show co-host, will be the roast master. We've got people from St. Louis. We've got people from Wichita. The headliner is a nationally acclaimed comic that's been on Comedy Central, HBO, and has played Las Vegas. He will be there. James has set up a tremendous show for this thing. Kansas's own 80s rock band, 12 Years Coming, will be there as well. Tickets are $10 at the door, and pre-sale tickets guarantee you entry to the show. Hosted by, of course, James Davis, as I call him, the funniest man in America, and just added to this thing, Lance Chafin, of course, my good friend, the Midwest Mangala. Tim Dixon will be there, Tom Smalling and Sean Story, of course, from Victims of Spotlight, plus some more special guests and surprises. I will have a couple different photographers there, and we will have video. I have talked to the friends at Grape Ape Photography, Chris Ortiz and Mr. Matt, and they will be in the building. It will be a fantastic show. We will put highlights. We'll put the whole event. We'll put things up on JiggyJaguar.com. We might do a thing where, in order to watch the entire roast, you might have to pay like $5 or something. I don't know. We're going to experiment with monetization on this thing, because this is going to be a party. This is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for this thing. It is going to be something else. When we get back, we're going to have a guest with us. We're also going to be talking about identity theft a little bit later with Mr. Frank Fernuccio. And hell of a deal today. Thanks for watching us on the Starcom Television Network as well. That is that's a fun little place. And then, of course, we are live as live can get. 50-plus stations throughout the U.S. and Canada today. When we get back, we've got more. It is...
Help.
Pagtulong.
Hope.
Pag-asa.
Love.
Pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K-IN, the number 12 weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program. Why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd. With silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Most neurologists conduct concussion assessments in a medical office. Their patients aren't usually fired up on adrenaline. Their office isn't filled with tons of thousands of screaming fans during the exam. Having neurologists on the sidelines is a growing trend which has advantages. They can see what is going on from the moment the injury happens. Being on site, they can evaluate and expertly interpret a brain in distress. Very few Big Ten universities have neurological services available at games. Michigan and Michigan State's are the only two that currently do. Indiana Neurological Specialist is at home games and some away games, while Nebraska has one at home games, but not on the field. With the increase in head injuries, a sideline neurologist can be helpful. It takes the pressure off the team doctor, coach, and trainer and provides immediate attention for injured athletes, and it's certainly worth the cost. I'm Dave Ferguson at BeyondTheCheers.com, and this has been a Beyond the Cheers moment.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Welcome back to the big broadcast. Coast to coast and border to border on 50-plus stations throughout the U.S. and Canada. We are live as live can get from the Transmedia Worldwide Studios in Great Salt City, Hutchinson, Kansas. 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific, 24/7. JiggyJaguar.com with the TuneIn apps and real loyalty as well. Dr. Sherry Meinberg is with us on the telephone, and Dr. Meinberg has been with us on many occasions in the past, but I wanted to get her on today to talk about some updated information. She is, of course, she's the author of Breadcrumbs for Beginners, Following the Writing Trail. We're going to be getting some updated information here from her here in a few moments. Hers is not a crummy book. It's loaded it's loaded for tips for people who want to write a book. And she'll also talk about how she's writing a new book. She has over 10 to her credit, so we'll talk about that throughout the broadcast today. And Dr. Sherry Meinberg is with us. Doctor, how are you? Welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you. I'm just great. Thanks.
Now, you have this book here that has been doing tremendous traffic. Bring us up to date on the book itself and how it's been doing.
Well, Sunday I was at a convention in Pasadena, in California, and they had about 3,000 people there. It was hosted by Hay House and Balboa Press, and so everybody flies in because they have a whole lot of authors that speak, and then there are people like me that were signing our books. And when I got there, it was like the lunch break, and I'm looking all over, and I thought, nobody's here, you know. I think I brought too many books. So suddenly, these crowds of people came in, and they were lining up behind the tables for particular books, you know. And I could only see right in front of me, so I thought I only had like 5 or 6 people that I needed to talk with then, and I'm taking my time, and I saw this long line, but I thought it was to get into a speech, and they were all for me, and this line went down a bunch of stairs, turned the corner, went down those stairs to this first floor, then across the main entrance and out the door. And so people kept coming to me, and they were saying, you only have 30 minutes left, you know, and then you've got 20 minutes left and 6 minutes left, and here's this line all over the place. So it was quite exciting, and I got to talk to a lot of people, and they were excited about getting the book. And actually it started early because one woman came rushing up to me, and she says, oh, I've got to get your book, but I have to catch a plane, you know. Can you sign me a book now, you know? And, of course, I was flattered and said yes, you know, and then off she went, you know. So that was really exciting. They did a lot of publicity, so it was good to know that many people are interested in writing. So.
We've got a tremendous guest with us today. Dr. Sherry Meinberg is with us, and that sounds like it was a heck of a deal, this convention.
Well, it was, and apparently they have like 8 a year, I guess, in all the big cities around the world. So it depends on where you want to go. But Pasadena, you know, I didn't have to take a plane for that. We only had to drive like an hour to get there. So it was more convenient for me, and I had a really good time. So I'm glad we went.
We've got Dr. Sherry Meinberg joining us today here on the program. And Dr. Meinberg is the author of Breadcrumbs for Beginners, Following the Writing Trail. We're going to talk a little bit here about some of the latest info, including some other books that she is getting ready to get out there. She's got 10 so far. Amazing job with all these books. Now, the line for this book signing, this thing, it went down and then it came back up, and I understand that this thing went down a bunch of steps, turned a corner, went down more steps to the first floor, across the entryway, and out the front door of the building. That is a hell of a deal.
It took so long for them. People were total strangers in line, and they were laughing. They said they had all become friends by the time they got up to me.
That's fabulous.
So I was happy to see that everybody was enjoying themselves while they were in line, because it took quite a bit of time.
Now,
and at the very end, they had to cut off the end of the line because we ran out of books, and I was unhappy for those people because they were looking forward to having a book. So, you know, you could always get it on
Amazon and some of the places online, correct?
Right. Trying to come up with names, and suddenly Amazon was gone.
Hey, that happens. It's live radio. Don't worry about it. Dr. Sherry Meinberg with us today here on the program, joining us from California, talking about Breadcrumbs for Beginners, Following the Writing Trail. You ran out of books, You couldn't accommodate everyone, and you had to turn them away, but it was a wonderful experience. Share with the audience a couple other things that happened at this convention.
Well, they kept telling me that I couldn't talk so much to the people. I had to just keep signing.
Hand them a book and get them the hell out of the way. Is that what it was?
Yes, that's exactly it. You know, the people are interesting. I enjoy talking to them, and the woman came up and she said, "You only have 6 minutes. You've got to stop talking, and you can only sign your name. That's all you can do."
Son of a bitch.
The very next woman standing there hands me the book to write in, and she says, "My son is 16, and he's autistic, and he needs to write," and on and on and on she went. And, of course, I wrote a book on autism, and I said, well, I've got to write a dedication here for this boy. So, and here they just said, you only have 6 minutes, you know, keep it going. And here I am writing again, you know. But it was interesting to see a lot of people were readers and had a story inside them, just didn't have the motivation to put their pen to paper, you know. And other ones are writing, but they're afraid to show it to anybody, and others are ready to publish. So it was just the whole gamut. And of course, my book covers everything from just starting and thinking about it to not only just publishing, but getting the promotion afterwards. Actually, it's 2 books in one, because the very last section, the 5th section, has to do with helpers, how to help you through the process. And I was going to make a smaller book out of that. And then I thought, well, you know, I'll just stick it all together, because I haven't seen that in any other book on writing. So we'll just make a big fat book out of it. So
we've got.
So anyway, I covered the whole process.
Hey, we're going to talk about that process when we get back here with Dr. Sherry Meinberg. If you want to get more information on her books, you can look them up on Amazon. We also have links to her books on our website at JiggyJaguar.com. We're going to take a smidgen little time out here with Dr. Meinberg, and when we come back, we're going to chat a little bit about all these various books that she's getting ready. She's getting ready to put out amazing 10th, 11th, 12th. She's got all these books. We'll talk about it. She just wrote a brand new true children's book. It's a 3rd grader's book. It's titled The Cockroach Invasion. I think I lived in that apartment at one time. We will be back with more here on the World Famous. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today, 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12, weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program, why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out. So don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd. With silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help,
pagtulong,
hope,
pag-asa,
love.
pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
This is Chris Markowski, your watchdog on Wall Street, and this is your watchdog on Wall Street, a Money Minute. Mohammed El Arian, portfolio manager over at PIMCO, penned an interesting piece, something that a bit of a watchdog echo chamber. History is full of people and institutions that rose to positions of supremacy only to come crashing down. In most cases, a sense of invincibility fed by uncontested power was their undoing. In other cases, however, both the rise and the fall stem from more the unwarranted expectations of those around them. Over the last few years, the central banks of the largest advanced economies have assumed a quasi-dominant position. Called upon in 2008 to fix market dysfunction, well, 5 years on, they've got all this power, and what have we got all around the globe? Waiting for them to fix it. Ain't gonna happen. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Welcome back to the big broadcast, coast to coast and border to border, all over the World Wide Web and on 50-plus stations throughout the U.S. and Canada. Thanks for tuning in to the Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show from the Transmedia Worldwide Studios. We are live as live can get, 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific. 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com and on the TuneIn apps, Radio Loyalty. Our podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com, and we have a daily show special. If you want to go over to JiggyJaguar.com, look for the daily show special. Underneath our little scroller thing, whatever the heck that thing is, on JiggyJaguar.com. Save 10% off our sponsor for today at JiggyJaguar.com. And we've got Dr. Sherry Meinberg back with us. And Dr. Meinberg recently was involved in an incredible book convention out in, what was it, this last Sunday? This last Sunday you were at this, this book convention, Pasadena. And we wanted to get her on today to talk about that. We also were going to cover in this segment a book that she is just finished. I'm amazed that she didn't just finish another book during our break. She writes these books so fast. Dr. Sherry Meinberg is the author of Breadcrumbs for Beginners, Following the Writing Trail, and as her award-winning publicist Erwin Zucker says, she has a book here that is not a crummy book. It's loaded for tips for people who want to write a book. And She's also going to talk to us in this segment about how she's writing a new book. She has over 10 to her credit. First of all, before we get into the new book, 10 books. How the hell do you keep it going after writing 10 books?
Well, I just had a lot of experiences in my life, and actually all of these are nonfiction.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, all I read was fiction and fantasy, and it never occurred to me that I would write, first of all, and of course, and then all of my books are nonfiction, so they're all different subjects,
Yeah.
But now I've decided to put some of the stories of the kids that have been in my classroom over the years, and so I have a series going. I've written about eight at least of their things that have happened over the years, but I'm using the same kids for each of the books.
Yeah.
But I wanted to launch this first one because it's so close to my heart. I think it's the funniest thing that ever happened, and I tried two different companies to do pictures for me, and everybody dragged their feet. Nobody wanted to draw a cockroach. I thought, adults find this to be a very creepy situation, talking about cockroaches, but I'm telling you, kids' reaction is just they scream and they giggle and they laugh and they just think it's the funniest thing. So I know the kids will read it. My problem's going to be the parents are the ones that buy the book. So I really don't expect many books to be sold. But I know the kids will all love it because it's true. It actually happened. It's a beginner chapter book, easy reading for it happens in the third grade. So I'm targeting third graders and up as the readers. But it has to do with a mystery and has to do with cockroaches. So so you're getting some biology, some science in there, as well as the mystery. So, anyway.
Speaking with Dr. Sherry Meinberg today here on the broadcast, she just finished writing a new true children's book written about third graders titled The Cockroach Invasion. And good God on a stick, I lived in a place called, I nicknamed it Crazy Town. Because we don't have enough time for me to explain Crazy Town to you, Doctor. But we'll just say that I used to be kind of fearful of cockroaches, but after living in Crazy Town for several months, I'm not afraid of cockroaches anymore. Now,
yeah, well, the thing is, when this experience happened, all the kids were asking me about cockroaches, and I said, well, I don't know anything about them. I've never actually seen a real one before. I've only seen them in books. First of all, they did not believe me. This is an inner city school. So,
yeah, they didn't believe me.
So they were overrun with them, apparently. And so they didn't believe me, number one, and then they said, well, teachers are supposed to be smart. Teachers are supposed to know everything.
Yep.
They were quite upset with me that,
Yep.
I didn't have all the answers that they wanted. And so I had to explain, that's why we have brains, so we can figure out situations as they happen, or we can certainly look for information. So we started pooling our knowledge, what all the kids knew. And then we had to do a lot of research to find out all kinds of facts about them. So we all learned together. That was the thing.
Dr. Sherry Meinberg joins us today here on the program talking about the cockroach invasion. The subject matter, she's had some trouble with adults because of that. We discussed that a few seconds ago. But kids, of course, they love this. They're giving you the response that you're looking for. I understand you're having a contest.
That's right, because adults just simply won't touch it. So I have like 16 little sketches that I need. So I'm having an art contest for 3rd and 4th graders. So if any of your audience has students that are 3rd and 4th grade, or 7, 8, 9, and 10 years old, I'm limiting it to. But if any of them are interested, let me give you my email, and they can write me, and I'll send them the details.
Okay.
You know? So I'm at Sherry, Sherry, Meinberg, MEINBERG, at Verizon.net. That's Sherry Meinberg at Verizon.net. And it's very simple. I just need 16 little pictures, so all they have to do is send in one, black and white. Just use a Sharpie or a dark ink pen. Very simple things like I need a guitar, I need a couple of dinosaurs, I need a grasshopper, a wooden chip, and then cockroach pictures. So I have a list of things, and they could look at it and see if they wanted to do one picture or maybe a couple. And not even a picture, it's just a sketch. That's all I'm looking for, because it's a small beginning chapter book, so it's about 100 pages, I guess.
Yeah.
So no color.
What if somebody older than a 3rd and 4th grader wanted to send you sketches? Would that be available? Would that be okay as well, or?
Well, I have. I'm asking for the full name, address, age, grade, and school, because if they win, their picture or their drawing. Yeah. And their name goes in a book, and then I'll send them a book and a book for their school library, and I'll send a book to the public library that's the closest to where they live.
That's really
cool. So they'll get lots of
really
publicity. Cool. But there's no money involved, mainly because I have no money to spread around.
Well, I've got some people I do know that in our listening audience that are artists, but they just do it to do it, and they would love to be involved in something like this. So.
Well, give them my email address, Sherry Meinberg at Verizon.net, and I'll send them this little page of directions.
Yep. Okay. Well, we will do that. Well, Dr. Meinberg, it's been an incredible honor having you back on the program. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us about these books. They are.
Well, I love talking to you, so this is a pleasure.
They are absolutely fabulous. What's the next one on the horizon, since you're kind of finishing this one up?
Well, then I'll have one of those 8 books I was telling you about. Yeah. I'll have to redo those and put the same kids' names in it. So the series, I'll just launch the series with this first book.
Well, Dr. Meinberg, I appreciate you being on. Thanks for being with us, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks again.
Appreciate it. Dr. Sherry Meinberg with us when we get back. It will be Frank Vernuccio time. Yes, we're going to chat with Mr. Frank about the issues of the day and all sorts of other things going on. Dr. Sherry Meinberg is available online. We will put that information up on our Facebook page. For more information on this contest, we've got more when we get back. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12, weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world. cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program, why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd. With silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help,
pagtulong,
hope,
pag-asa,
love.
pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
Out Loud Minute.
The Out Loud Minute.
The skies are predicted to become vastly overcrowded with as many as 7,500 commercial drones competing for airspace. Wow, this is Malcolm Out Loud. The FAA's announcement is the latest step in the march towards transitioning drones from the military use in the war on terrorism to civilian applications. While the privatization of drones for commercial applications over the next 5 years, estimated to create more than 100,000 jobs, generate more than $82 billion in economic impact. That is if the government moves quickly to establish workable regulations and safeguards. Well, the out loud truth is Americans are already on hyper alert with the use of drones. Privacy and security issues have become a highly sensitive soundbite since the NSA debacle. If drones are to become a mainstream tool, then serious regulation and security will be paramount, or the technology may never quite get off the ground. Are you ready for the invasion of the drones? I'll see you back at malcolmoutloud.tv.
Back to the Jiggy Jaguar Show on the network.
Coast to coast and border to border. All over the Starcom radio network and on 50+ stations from the US and Canada. Frank Bernuccio joins us from USA Gun Policy, and it is day after Veterans Day. I was speaking with Frank during the break. I'm glad that he actually did. There's a lot of people who just take the day off. Frank actually did something for veterans on, Veterans Day. So it was a good thing. I'm glad that we all did stuff yesterday. I did a special show here for veterans, and then you were active in your community, Frank. At least we did something. We just didn't take the day off. Good Lord. Now, Frank Vernuccio joins us, and Frank, Bill Clinton has come out and told our president, Barack Obama, that, hey, you got to get this healthcare thing fixed. What do you think about all this with Obama and the healthcare and Bill Clinton and everything surrounding this?
Hey, I forgot that 2016 was so close.
That's good stuff.
Well, look, I mean, President Clinton has really in the past gone all out for President Obama, but now, of course, that all eyes are on Hillary Clinton running for president in 2016, he's got to kind of put aside that everything that Obama does is wonderful routine and get a little bit more realistic. So he has come out somewhat strongly saying that the president needs to go ahead with what he pledged to the American people. And I think this is just the start of a distancing between the Clintons and the president. And, of course, any competent person running for office would want to put as much distance between themselves and President Obama as possible because, candidly, the administration of Barack Obama has been a clear, utter disaster.
Frank Vernuccio joins us today, USA Gov Policy. He is very active over there. If you get a chance, go check it out, usagovpolicy.org. And the military is something that is a big deal. Yesterday with Veterans Day and everything, there's a lot of people that are that the Alex Joneses of the world and Michael Savage and some of these folks have picked up on this, and you've been running with this story for a while. But Barack Obama continues to dismiss military generals and is sort of, I guess, changing the way the military looks. What is going on here? This is a strange story here, Frank.
It certainly is. You know, it started right when the president took office in 2009, when he dismissed the general in charge of Afghanistan, and then several months later dismissed the replacement, his own hand-picked replacement. Yeah. The thing really accelerated after Benghazi. Now, General Ham, who was in charge of African Command, which had jurisdiction over the area, and Admiral Guiteau, who was in charge of naval forces in the area, the John C. Stennis Aircraft Carrier Group, were both let go quickly after Benghazi. And the speculation, I believe there's a great deal of truth to it, is that both men were furious at the White House for failing to allow the military to do what they always have done, rush into the aid of Americans. The president, who refused apparently to allow our military to rescue our ambassador, certainly did not befriend himself to the military. Now, other presidents have had disputes with experts, whether it be in the military or in other areas, but they've always managed to come to some kind of agreement. Although in the past there have been some cases, for example, Doug MacArthur and President Truman had a bit of a falling out. But in this case, the administration simply wants to dismiss any expert, whether it be in the military or otherwise, who tells it like it is.
It is Frank Vernuccio, and it's 53 minutes after the hour. usagovpolicy.org is the official website for Mr.
Actually,
Frank.
.com.
.com, okay.
.com.
I always thought it was .org.
.com.
When did it change to .com? Maybe I'm an idiot and I just have missed everything.
Not at all, not at all. Too many people just put in .com automatically, so we just went with it.
I love it. Now, Frank, this tsunami that took place over the weekend, there's a lot of people that have been... We've been running some public service announcements here the last couple of days about it, about getting the help over there. I heard earlier today on WABC radio that they can't even get any help in there because they can't land the planes because there's so much crap over there. Give me your thoughts and kind of bring everybody up to speed on this and tell us kind of what's been going on over there and what you've been hearing.
Sure, James. Well, apparently there was a 20-foot tidal surge combined with horrendous winds, which just about knocked out all the infrastructure. And the only force that's really capable of providing the help that those really beleaguered people desperately need, and it is a desperate situation, has been the U.S. military. And once again, isn't it strange that everyone likes to condemn or attack or to criticize the military, but when the chips are down, The only people who are competent enough to actually do something and really bring help where it's needed is the U.S. military. So the Marines and the Navy have really been doing a great job in trying to help out as much as possible the people who are in desperate need there.
Do you think that we're going to be able to get this fixed, or is this just a situation of they're just going to have to deal with it, basically?
Well, the scope of this tragedy is almost unprecedented. So I think whatever happens is going to be slow going. Again, because the infrastructure, the airports in particular, have been so battered, it's going to be very slow. But again, the only force that has the capability of doing something about it is the U.S. military, and they're doing all that they can.
Now, how do you clean something like this up? How the hell do you get rid of all this debris and all of this?
Well, it's similar to what we saw in Japan when they had the horrendous situation there a couple of years ago. You can't obviously do it all at once. The most important first step, of course, is to get your infrastructure, get your airports, get your railways, get your roads up and running. And after that, you just do it bit by bit. But you can't do much at all until that happens. Now, the other problem that people there have, of course, is that right now, there's no electricity and no running water to much of the area. And we've seen terrible scenes where the hospitals are trying to do whatever they can for the injured, but they're doing it without water, without running water, and without electricity. A nurse was recently interviewed saying that the hospital is collecting rainwater.
Wow.
What a terrible situation.
Wow. Frank Minuccio is available online. Frank, before we let you go, what do you got going on at the website this week?
We're looking at the dramatic change in the U.S. government because the old textbook idea, if you vote for somebody, they go to Washington and they represent you in Congress or at the White House, doesn't seem to matter as much anymore now that all these federal agencies are passing input and very little media attention. And it's taking participatory government away from the people. It's a real crisis in our government, and it's something that we have to start addressing very soon.
I'll tell you that this is going to be something that's going to come into play in the next election cycle and everything else there. So I can't wait to read it. I appreciate you being on this week, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks, sir.
Great being with you, James. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Frank Bernuccio with us. When we get back, we have got Alara, hopefully, at the top of the hour here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program, why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help,
Pagtulong.
hope,
Pag-asa.
love.
Pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
Need a jump start? Leave the battery service to the professional. Hi, this is Pam Oakes, ASC Certified Auto Tech and shop owner, here to tell you that when it's time to remove that harmful white-green corrosion off your vehicle's terminal ends, it's best to leave that job to a professional. Nowadays, vehicles need the battery powered 24/7 to keep alive the car or truck's onboard computer system. In fact, on some make and models, removing the battery cable ends from the battery will trigger an anti-theft program. This is a one-way tow trip to the dealership or auto center to reset the security system. Keep the money in your wallet and have a professional perform the tasks the first time. This has been your Car Care for the Clueless Minute for today. Let me teach you how not to fix your vehicle in the driveway, but how to have your car or truck properly repaired by an ASC certified technician, like myself, Pam Oakes. It's all about making you a savvy car consumer.
1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick tock. You're about to stop living, tick tock. I want you to remember me, tick tock. But the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing, I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming.
www.jiggyjaguar.com on the internet.
I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing, I'm here to bring the pain, I'm never ever...
Go to www.jiggyjaguar.com on the internet. Check it out right now. We're doing the damn thing on a Sunday or wherever. Sunday can be in your head at all times, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. www.jiggyjaguar.com. Let's go check out Ryan O'Reilly. This guy, he wrote a new book called Snapshot. It's in stores right now. Go check out Snapshot. It's a brand new book, Barnes & Noble, all over the place. Ryan O'Reilly here on the Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Lord, what are you doing? Oh, right, you're doing an interview. This should be a action job.
We are back here on the Jiggy Jaguar Show speaking with Ryan O'Reilly, the author of Snapshot. I'll tell you, Ryan, this is a great, great book. This is just the whole premise and everything. Why don't you give us some information on yourself, and then we'll talk about the book. How'd you come to write the book?
Well, I actually, when I left college, I started working for my family business. It was a kind of big corporate kind of outfit, and I sort of gone straight from college to that. And, a few years afterwards, I was sitting in my office and kind of thought about the fact that I already had a serious relationship and a house with a white picket fence, and well on my way to the 2.5 kids, I guess, and just kind of got really freaked out. I remember it was a real specific afternoon. I was at work, and I just thought, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Why am I? I haven't taken any time to explore or do anything out of the ordinary. I'm just kind of following these little rigid steps, and eventually I'm going to retire and look back and wonder where it all went. And I really just kind of got the really strong desire to not do that,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this is like I said, this is a heck of a book. How has the book been received?
Very well, actually. I haven't had a negative review on it yet, knock on wood, other than some of the racier parts of it. It's not something you'd want to read to your kids at night.
Yeah.
Obviously, but just the whole premise of exploring the West, the New West, or taking time to sort of shrug off the kind of the restrictions that society places on the average modern college graduate. That's something I think that really appeals to people, and it comes about generationally. I think every so often a group of people will come along and sort of make that claim that we need to remember to take advantage of our youth before it's actually gone.
Yeah.
The lost generation of the 20s or the beat poets of the 50s. Every so often we need to be re-reminded that life isn't about a standardized existence. It's really about unpredictability and adventure.
Yeah. Well, the term twixter comes about in this book a couple different times, and give us a description of just exactly what a twixter is.
Well, I think that it's ironically like the group of people it sort of refers to. It's sort of difficult to nail down in like a real clear black and white definition. But I think generally it's sort of it's a group that sort of straddles a generation gap, basically, that sort of don't fall into one category or the other, which is why it's kind of hard to give them a definite identity. We like to have things fall into nice, neat little categories, like Generation X and Generation, the greatest generation and that sort of thing. But I think their actual identity is sort of found within that last identity, that they're constantly searching for something that they can't seem to really get their hands around, and really the byproduct of that is that they're able to, express a greater sense of freedom in there. Most people kind of view them as sort of being out to lunch, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of aloofness that gives them what their identity is, the idea of really trying to get their hands around the true American dream, which is freedom.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that just from reading the book and just different things that I've researched, the twixter generation, they just seem to be living life to the fullest. Why is it?
Well, I think they're trying. It's very easy. Like I keep sort of reiterating in the book, to get caught up in this, graduating, getting a career, getting married, having a family, and then retiring, and then dying. That's just sort of the easiest, sort of most successful thing you can do. And I think their refusal to sort of get locked into that, with quite the same intensity that people of past generations have is sort of how they're able to kind of coexist. And of course, I don't really mean to suggest in my book, and I don't think any twixter would agree that we should all just sort of quit our jobs and go roam around America. We wouldn't have a very productive society if that were to happen. But I think the general idea is, how do you balance the two? How can you still maintain a certain amount of productivity in your job and in your life, and have a family and all these really, really wonderful things, yet still maintain a certain amount of physical and mental freedom, the ability to explore and do all these sort of unique things that life gives humans,
Yeah. I'll tell you, like I said, the book Snapshot, it's Wow, it's a heck of a read. How do you think somebody in their life, with their snapshot, how do you think that creates their personal legacy?
Well, I think it sort of affects how you act towards other people, towards you know, if you have a family, how you act towards them as people. You know, and these snapshots, I think, you know, remembering your past as little small pieces like that will sort of help remind you in your future, and kind of really keeping a hold on that and really applying that to your relationships, or, you know, with your family or friends or whatever. You know, that's how you pass on your legacy. And I guess it's sort of more of a personal thing than that idea of snapshots. It's more of an identity thing for people themselves, rather than you know, a black and white legacy that you leave behind. My sort of contention at the end of the book, you know, that can be your afterlife. These little snapshots. I mean, you won't remember. You won't have a running videotape of your life from front to back, but you will have these little flips in memory. And if you kind of just remember that you will have those, then it just makes the present that much more important, to make sure that your memories are good ones, that they're, you know, for whatever your interests are, whatever your beliefs are. You know, if you stay in line with that, then your legacy for yourself will be something positive. Yeah. Snapshots of those, or, you know, of sort of what define that.
Well, I'll tell you, you're just looking at the book and reading the book several different times and seeing your background with some of the research I did on you. This is just a really, really great package. I noticed that you've had all sorts of jobs over your time. From, good Lord, from being a police officer to a freelance writer to all sorts of different things. What has been the most interesting job that you've had?
Well, probably the writing thing, especially the novel writing thing. It sort of has allowed me to kind of encapsulate all of the other jobs that I've had. You know, in Snapshot, for instance, you mentioned that I was a police officer. Well, there's a section in there where the two kind of main guys run into a couple of cops in Nebraska, and you know, it's easier to write about police officers having been there myself. You know, it's well, a lot of times when you read about people's run-ins with the law in novels and articles and things like that, there's not a whole lot of perspective from you know, that makes the law enforcement officers you know, sort of a real, you know, entity. That's just something, you know, you can only view them from the outside looking in. On the other hand, you know, I've been there, so you know, that notion of being able to take all these, you know, these crazy weird jobs I've had and sort of, you know, put them in my books, I think it's sort of what makes, I don't know. Yeah. So having the, you know, or having the ability to bring them all together into one job that I really, really love to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another thing that I'd like to discuss with you, the early 20s, or late 20s, early 30s identity crisis seems to be just a main topic a lot of times, from, you know, with everything that goes on the internet and off and so on. Could, you know, give me your thoughts on all that, the identity crisis.
Well, it's you know, identity crises are nothing new. You know, there was always the what do you call it, the sort of midlife crisis and that sort of thing. They seem to be coming a lot earlier nowadays, and I think it's just sort of a natural reaction to, you know, okay, well, you had the end of the Second World War, and then everybody kind of fell into this, or generally kind of fell into this sort of college, job, family thing, and I think this earlier identity crisis is just sort of a natural reaction to that. You know, you can only, you know, you can't balance anything in life. You know, so if there's an imbalance, if everybody's, you know, doing this college, job, family thing, then something will happen to correct that balance. And in this case, I think it's just an earlier kind of identity crisis where it's kind of becoming more. Well, I'm sure everybody had this, or a lot of people had this identity crisis before. It's just becoming easier to embrace and do something about now. I mean, I'm thinking of the statistics that people will go through several careers in their lifetime now. Well, that wasn't the case 30 years ago. Yeah. And I think that's sort of indicative of the fact that we not only accept the notion of having these identity crises, but accepting them and allowing them to kind of flourish.
I'll tell you, the book's great. A lot of good reviews from what you've mentioned. Ryan O'Reilly, the book is Snapshot. You got any other plans to keep writing books, or you're working on another project?
I do. I'm actually working on two other projects. One of which I still haven't quite finished my travels. I just got back from a trip. I paddled the Missouri River from Three Forks, Montana to St. Louis. I just got back from that a few weeks ago, and I'm kind of working on something dealing with that, and then another book about a couple of kids growing up in a small town in Texas. Wow. So I'm not finished yet. So I'm just going to keep going until I run out of gas, I guess.
Well, that's cool. Well, yeah, definitely when those projects are done, we'll definitely have to have you back, and you can chat about those as well. Ryan O'Reilly, the new book is Snapshot. It's available pretty much everywhere, correct?
That's right. The easiest place to get it online is Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com or Borders.com.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's a heck of a read. It's a great summer book. I've noticed that a lot of people that I've been talking to, where I just mentioned, that I got the book and was reading it through. There's a lot of people that picked it up at the local bookstore here, and it's a great summer read. It is. Well, Ryan, I appreciate the interview, and we'll definitely have to talk to you soon.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks. Ryan, I appreciate it. Ryan, I appreciate it, and we'll definitely have to talk to you soon. Thanks, man.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
www.jiggyjaguar.com on the internet.
Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today, 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program. Why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd. with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help,
pagtulong,
hope,
pag-asa,
love.
pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone313.com. Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
This is Chris Markowski, your watchdog on Wall Street, and this is your watchdog on Wall Street Money Minute. Emails pouring in from all over the country. Funny ones, too. People that didn't like me so much, hated my radio show when I went after Obama, went after Obamacare. I didn't give it a chance. All sorts of great stuff. Well, these people are realizing that their insurance is no longer. They cannot get onto the website. They don't know where to turn. They're sick and tired of being on hold somewhere. People, the reality of the situation is the ultimate goal is to get all these doctors in the country on the government payroll. That's right, making doctors government employees. Socialize the whole darn thing. Single payer system. It is what is coming down the pike. It is what they've always wanted. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com.
Jiggy Jaguar, the 2008 Community Access Television Rookie of the Year, and the Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show on the network and JiggyJaguar.com.
Welcome back to the broadcast, coast to coast and border to border, all over the Starcom radio network today. Thanks for tuning in to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program from the Transmedia Worldwide Studios in the Great Salt City of Hutchinson, Kansas. We are live 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific. 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com on the TuneIn apps and Radio Loyalty. Our podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com, and our telephone number is 267-225-4449. That's 267-22-JIGGY, and the Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast is brought to you by our good friends at LifeLock. If you want to get more information on a special offer, you can head over to JiggyJaguar.com. Today through November 30th, all LifeLock services are 10% off. LifeLock is the leading service provider of identity theft protection and already offers the most comprehensive services and lowest prices on the market today. This affiliate exclusive is available at JiggyJaguar.com. Save 10% off the site-wide services at LifeLock.com today through November 30th. And Lloyd Wright joins us. He has been on our broadcast a couple times in the past, and I always enjoy talking with the great Lloyd Wright. He's now based in Prescott, Arizona. He's the author of books revealing how to conquer hepatitis C, and he has. He's shared his story many times on this program. The New York Times has a major story last week about this disease and how there is now great hope for a complete victory. Lloyd is with us today to discuss this article, also revealing what problems there might be, especially in the high cost of new drugs on the market. He's a very, very interesting guest, and I welcome Lloyd to the program. Lloyd Wright, how are you?
I'm doing very good, and I'm glad to be here.
Now, Lloyd, you wrote this book about curing yourself and conquering hepatitis C. And the New York Times last week had a major story about this disease. Let's talk about this story and give me your thoughts on this.
Okay, well, first, since I've been into this since 1999,
Yep.
real close, I watched in 2000 when Amgen, a pharmaceutical company in Thousand Oaks, California, claimed they had the cure, and it didn't work. In 2004, the Germans claimed they had the cure. They cured a whole bunch of, they had monkeys and gorillas, and 6 months later, all the monkeys and gorillas died.
Yeah.
In 2011, Bristol Myers Squibb and a couple other companies came out with Civic and a couple other companies, the same drug, different name. They claimed they had the cure. And as you'll read in this article of November 4th in the New York Times, they only used the healthiest people in their trials, and when they started giving it to normal people with hepatitis C, they were dying. They got really sick. I know how bad it is because I got to sit here and answer the phone and answer the emails and try to help these people. Now, this new drug, it's called an analog nucleotide. That's the category. There's about 6 or 8 companies making this particular drug, and Gilead Sciences has the best one. All of the rest of them, about 6 or 7 months ago, were stopped by the FDA because the people in their trials were having heart attacks. Okay, so in this November 4th article, it even states that this drug hasn't been around long, and sure, the trials were good, but they don't know what happens in a few years. For instance, on TV today, there's Crestor and Lipitor are killing females, and it's been around for years, but they just discovered that it kills females. But let me say this about this drug, and the current new name of the drug is sofosbuvir. During the trials, they called it GS7977, which is a whole lot easier to say. I've had 5 clients use this. Each one of those 5 was genotype 1, which is most Americans are genotype 1. Only a small amount are genotype 2 and 3. 2 of these people did this trial when it first started, phase 1, about 2.5 years ago. Both of them were completely cured in 2 weeks. They did an 8-week course of this drug. No side effects. Most recently, one of my best clients since 2006 did this phase 3 trial. He's also genotype 1. He was cured completely in 2 weeks. No side effects. So the drug worked on my 5 clients. The one thing that my 5 clients had in common were that they all used a lot of Napsol while they were doing this. Now, none of them, they all told me I've got all their lab work from the beginning to the end, all the way through the trials, before the trials, after the trials, and these people are still cured, but it hasn't been all that long. But if it works the way it appears it does, it's going to be a really great thing. One of the biggest problems with this drug is that it's going to cost a lot of money. They're going to give you a 12-week course of pills if you're genotype 2, and the cost for the pills, that's 1 a day for 12 weeks, is going to be in excess of $100,000. That's a tad pricey. So what say you?
We've got Lloyd Wright with us today here on the program. It is a very, very high price to pay here, Lloyd. And you cured yourself of hepatitis C. Give us some advice on the people that don't want to pay this high price.
Well, people can keep doing what I do, But I'm concerned. I mean, that's a huge amount of money. Most people have a copay when it comes to prescription drugs, and they have a deductible. And you know, the pill, it simply doesn't cost that much money to make it. It's kind of a shame. But there are these 6 or 7 other companies that are going to come along and be approved later that are going to be making a generic copy that'll be a lot less money. Also, they claim that this drug is going to be in short supply for quite a while, and the people that they are going to give it to first are going to be drug addicts and mentally unstable people and people in prisons, because they feel that those are the people that are most likely to spread hepatitis C. So they're the ones that get it first.
It is
I
Lloyd
tried
Wright.
calling Obamacare to
Yes.
find out if they're going to cover it, but I couldn't get anybody there that could tell me.
That was going to be my next question. Was we're speaking with Lloyd Wright today about hepatitis C and story that came out last week in a major newspaper across the country. So Obamacare, you're not sure if this covers hepatitis C or covers any of the diseases associated with it.
Well, yeah, I couldn't get an answer. I mean, I'm assuming that Obamacare has drug coverage.
Yeah.
But how much they're going to pay and how much deductible, from the stories I hear, it would be pretty horrendous cost. I've had a couple of my clients call me and ask me, or they tell me, well, I don't have any insurance, and how do I get this drug?
Yeah.
And I can say there's a few other companies that are still doing trials. Gilead Sciences is finished with their trials, and their drug will be approved on December 8th for sale for genotype 2 and 3. But again, it's pretty pricey. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. I mean, to me, it's un-American to charge so much money for a pill.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. We're going to take a quick time here with Lloyd. When we come back, we will chat a little bit more with Lloyd Wright about a recent story that came out in a major newspaper across the country about hepatitis C. Also want to get his thoughts on some of the other issues of the day regarding health care. We're back after this with Lloyd Wright here on the Big Ride. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today, 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12, weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program. Why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily? This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to www.smartphone.com
www.smartphone313.com.
Again, this is an amazing, life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help,
Pagtulong,
hope,
pag-asa,
love.
pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
Welcome to the Unlock Your Wealth Update. Here's Heather Wagenhals.
Today's update is on credit card fraud prevention tips. Being a victim of credit card fraud can be upsetting. That's why we came up with these tips to help prevent you from experiencing credit card fraud. First, buy items online from secured websites, including domains with the HTTPS at the beginning. Always clear your data and personal information when using a public computer. For example, hotels, libraries, or local cafes. And remember Wi-Fi too. Review your bank statements each month. Cross off each transaction you know you made. Watch out for suspicious email accounts. This can be an obvious find if you go through them all. Limit the number of times a user can incorrectly enter credit card information. Banks may charge fees for declined transactions when they don't go through. For more great resources to help you create unlimited wealth and happiness, visit our website at crackingyourmoneycode.com. I'm Heather Wagenhals. Now go out and unlock your wealth today.
24/7, 365, and available worldwide on the internet. This is the #1 talk show online, the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Thanks for joining us today on the Starcom Radio Network from the Transmedia Worldwide Studios in the great Salt City of Hutchinson, Kansas. We're live 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, 12 to 3 Pacific, 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com on the TuneIn apps and Radio Loyalty. And this segment of the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show brought to you by our good friends at Jordan's Juice Barbecue Sauce. Juice it up with Jordan's. Find them online at jordansjuice.com. Lloyd Wright back with us. Want to talk about some of the different things that are involved in the healthcare system. I know we were talking earlier about Obamacare covering the hepatitis C and all the various diseases out there. What do you make of healthcare and the healthcare law, Lloyd?
I think it's a disaster. I really do not believe that the Obama administration has in place everything that's needed to pay doctors, a place for doctors to bill patients, which is huge compared to just the website. I mean, the way insurance works is a gigantic bureaucracy, and it isn't there. It's not in place. And right now we're just seeing the website, which is probably the smallest part of the whole thing. I think the whole thing was designed so that it would fail and that the government could take over all health care.
It's Lloyd Wright.
Which scares the heck out of me. I have clients in Canada and the UK and other countries that have done this. And, for example, I have a client in Canada that got breast cancer. She also has Hep C. And after being diagnosed, her first appointment took 18 months. Now, when you have breast cancer, you don't sit around and wait for a doctor for 18 months.
Yeah, breast cancer is the kind of disease you don't just sit around and twiddle your thumbs.
Well, that's Canada, and that's that same kind of system. In fact, they're the ones that designed our great website. So she got on a plane and went to Florida, and she buys a lot of stuff for me and takes care of herself, as in now. And I have a lot of clients up there, and it's just unbelievable the wait time. For Hep C, they literally have to drive 4, 5, 6 hours to a doctor, and they wait, again, 18 months to see a specialist. And also, something I just learned today about Canadian health care is that a doctor can recommend a specialist, but he can't recommend one over the other based on a reputation. It has to be just a name, and they can't think, well, this one's better than that one, which is a very important thing in the real world. I think our healthcare system, the way it is laid out right now, isn't going to make it.
Wow. It's Lloyd Wright with us today here on the program. You can get more information on what Lloyd is up to over on his official website. He's got this great book out. We've had him on the broadcast many times in the past, revealing how to conquer hepatitis C. He has. New York Times in our last segment has a major story out last week about the disease. We talked with him about that. And before we let you go, Lloyd, this situation with healthcare, we kind of discussed it here. If you could go in and set the healthcare law, what would you do with Obamacare? What would you do with the healthcare law?
Well, I think I'd start over. I like the idea about no penalties for pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people losing their home because they can't pay the bill.
Yeah.
And I think those are good points, and they should be kept. But I do not like the idea that I am going to pay for somebody else's health care that is a drug addict or is just plain lazy, or somebody who doesn't really want to work and sits on their bottom all day doing nothing. I worked my bottom off my entire life. Most of my life I worked on Christmas and my birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm not into this redistribution of my wealth.
It's Lloyd Wright. And Lloyd, before we let you go, how do we get a hold of you on the internet? What's the best spot to get a hold of you and pick up your book and chat with you about the book?
Well, the easiest place to remember is lloydwright.org. Got the phone numbers there and the books there and address, everything.
Well, it's good stuff.
And
Well,
if
Lloyd,
anybody like a free copy of any of my books, they can call me at 877-676-1615, and I'll be happy to send them any number of them.
Well, give that phone number out one more time before we let you go.
877-676-1615.
Amazing stuff. Well, Lloyd, it's definitely been an honor and a privilege once again to chat with you. I always look forward to having you on the program, and we definitely want to catch up with you in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for coming on and giving us the details on this story and everything else. Thanks, sir.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely. Lloyd Wright with us today. And when we come back, Sonia Madison will join us at 44 minutes after the hour. We've got a busy radio show today. And if you want to get more information on what we're doing over on Twitter, it is JIGGY, JEGUAR. And Facebook is facebook.com/Jiggy Jaguar. Thanks for being with us. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, we've got more Sonia Madison on the way. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today, 15K in 12 weeks.com. That's the number 15K-IN, the number 12 weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program, why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd. With silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help.
Pagtulong.
Hope.
Pag-asa.
Love.
Pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to
www.smartphone313.com.
Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
The Eric Papp Thought of the Day, heard now on the Jiggy Jaguar Show. This is your radio philosopher, Eric Papp, bringing you your Thought of the Day. Asking for help. Ask for help not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. 3 simple ways when asking for help. Step number 1 is accept that you need help. Step number 2, figure out exactly what you need help in. And step number 3 is figure out who to ask. Remember, ask for help not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. For more thoughts, you can download my app, Eric Papp. Thanks, and remember, this is your life.
On this day after Labor Day.
I'm doing well. It's nice and sunny outside. How are you doing, Jimmy?
Pretty good, actually. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the different legal stories around the country. The fast food strike that took place, or is still taking place, I guess, Last week, there was a lot of different conservative media that was drumming up this as fake. There was a lot of liberal media that was championing their cause. As a legal expert, what do you make of the fast food situation, and are they in the right to ask for more money, or should they look upon this as a lot of these are entry-level jobs, and they should just, suck it up? What do you make of this, being the legal expert?
Well, I think both positions are accurate. They do have the right to ask for more money under the Labor Relations Act. They can strike. They can talk among themselves about higher pay wages, and they can demand employers to negotiate it. But as you also articulated, the employer still maintains the right to say that this is an entry-level position, and it's because we can easily replace you with people who either don't have high school diplomas or are high school students and the like. Then if you don't want the position, then we can still fill it with someone else. And so based on those two sides, I think that their goal of trying to get some of these restaurants to increase their pay above the minimum wage is probably going to be in vain, just considering that, for one, that is more of a federal issue or even a state issue, because there are states that have state minimum wage requirements, so they should look to state laws as well as the federal congressmen or federal legislators to try to get those changes. And also, when you're dealing with some of these wages for fast food restaurants, you're really talking about franchises. And franchises, because they have to deal with expenses related to the food, related to rent, related to workers' wages, and the like, they don't have the billions of dollars that the main corporation has. They're dealing with a lot less income as well as budgetary concerns.
We've got Sonia Madison joining us today here on the program, and Sonia is always available at cloopholes.com. She has some of the best commentary and also news on some of the legal issues going on in the world over there at cloopholes.com. Now, there was recently a hostile work environment case that made some headlines. What have you been hearing about this, and what have you been posting and talking about over there at C Loopholes?
Well, this case was out in New York and in Manhattan, and one of the employees of what's called Strike, which is an employment agency, sued her boss, and this is Rob Cremona, for a hostile work environment. He claims that they had this meeting, and he used the N-word towards her, and both her and her employer are black. And she claimed that that was very degrading, humiliating, and she should receive pay under Title VII anti-discrimination statute. And the jury sided with her, awarded her over $250,000 in compensatory damages, and today is looking at possibly awarding her more money in punitive or punishment damages. But I'm sure you know this, being in the media, there's always this debate on whether or not the N-word is acceptable among African Americans, and just unacceptable or inappropriate among a white person saying it to a black person. And so that's why that case has sparked a lot of interest. And the fact that the jury has stated, I don't care who says it should be completely banned from the workplace, definitely speaks volumes on whether or not that discussion should continue.
We've got a great regular correspondent with us today at 53 minutes after the hour. Sonia Madison joins us. cloopholes.com is her official website. And Syria is an odd situation that's been going on. We've been discussing it. We discussed it last hour with Frank Fernuccio from USA Gov Policy. As a legal expert, what do you think of the Syria situation as it relates to John Kerry and Barack Obama getting permission from the chain of command, I guess, basically? And also, what do you think of the legal implications of Syria, I guess, from your perspective?
Well, I am glad that President Obama decided to seek permission from Congress before going out there. I mean, under the law, under the War Powers Act, he could easily have gone ahead and made the military strikes against Syria and just given Congress a 48-hour notice. But I think by going to Congress and getting their permission, he's at least trying to say to us, this needs to be a collective effort on all of us parts and not just me dictating what we're going to do, especially when it comes to war efforts. Now, the thing itself is still a little bit interesting to me just because here you have the UN, the United Nations, that are still holding back, saying, well, we need more evidence, we need certain things to be cleared, and yet the United States is taking this stance, or at least is considering taking the stance that we're just going to go ahead and be this leader in trying to protect the rest of the world from chemical weapons, or at least from disobeying international laws. And so I think that, under my website, that's kind of the question of the hour, is whether we should take that role in trying to be this leader and going ahead and making these military strikes without having the United Nations backing us up.
We've got the fabulous Sonia Madison with us today here on the program, 55 minutes after the hour. And before we let you go, tell us about what are some other things going on at Sea Loopholes.
Well, Syria is one thing that's going on this week on Sea Loopholes. But just continuing to watch the news of the hour, there was an interesting case on cyberbullying last week, and I spoke briefly on that, just talking about whether or not someone should be able to get an order for protection against people who are disparaging their name or at least being abusive on social media sites. Social media in the workplace is always a hot topic issue, and in New York, they've recently passed legislation prohibiting employers from doing a lot of stuff like getting passwords or somehow getting into someone's account that isn't already accessible. And so that kind of stuff is still interesting for me, and I still talk about it on sealoopholes.com. Hopefully your listeners check it out.
SeaLoopholes.com is the website. Sonia Madison has been our guest. She is our regular contributor each and every week. And Sonia, thanks for being on with us. We'll talk to you next week, my friend. Have yourself a good rest of the week. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program, why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd. With silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help.
Pagtulong.
Hope.
Pag-asa.
Love.
Pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
If you're always on your smartphone, listen to this now. Did you know you can make $100 to $600 plus every single day? Sending a blog from your phone with a brand new app that's changing people's lives daily. This is real, and I urge you to get this app if you're in need of money fast by going to
www.smartphone313.com.
Again, this is an amazing life-changing program that just hit the market to the public. Please go now to www.smartphone313.com. Again, that's www.smartphone313.com.
Welcome to the Racing to Success Minute with Nadine Lajoie. Do you know why a lot of people are so discouraged, or they are depressed, or they even think about suicide? It's because they don't have any passion. That's too bad. In the school, they cut all the passion, the sports, the music, the arts, the painting. The fun and the passion needs to be part of your life. If you are not happy right now, just question yourself why you don't like your job, why you don't like your relationship. It's because there is no passion and there is no fun. And if you want to have success in business and in your life, you absolutely need to know your passion. So please take a few minutes today to really connect with your passion. If you don't know, just call us or visit NadineRacing.com.
We're back here on the program. We've got a great guest with us today. We're going to go ahead and let the guests do their own introduction here because they can do it better than I can. And I'm going to go ahead and let them do that. We'll talk about the latest project. Go ahead and fill us in.
Well, hi, James. Thanks for having me on.
Yes.
My name's Ron McMillan, and I'm co-author of 4 New York Times bestsellers. One of them that I'm calling attention to right now is called Crucial Accountability: Tools for Resolving Violated Expectations, Broken Commitments, and Bad Behavior. And I have 4 co-authors, and we're all trainers and consultants with Vital Smarts out of Provo, Utah.
Now, how do you have 4 co-authors? How did you guys get together to write this book?
Well, we've actually been together for about 23 years, and each of those New York Times bestsellers were written by us together. We've all had a variety of academic experience, ranging from Stanford to BYU to Auburn, and we've been working with organizations for the last 30 years, helping to create culture change and improve results that people really care about. Along the way, we discovered some big problems that organizations face, and one of them is we were shocked how often supervisors and managers and leaders do not hold people accountable to do their basic job or special projects, and we find it's even less likely that peers will hold each other accountable, and then it's almost totally unheard of that direct reports will hold bosses accountable. We also find that this is one of the biggest problems in raising children is parents don't know how to create accountability with their children and hold them accountable, and therefore children don't develop responsibility.
Now, this message is very timeless, and this book is just amazing. Why were you guys inspired to write this thing?
We were working with different companies. Right now, 300 of the Fortune 500 companies use our training.
Yes.
And what we saw across the board is we'd see supervisors seeing someone do something that's a violation or it's failing to keep a commitment, and then not saying anything about it, not doing anything about it. Someone comes in 20 minutes late, and the supervisor rolls her eyes and says, well, they'll probably improve, and they don't hold them accountable. And we begin trying to track what's the impact of that on productivity, on profitability, on cost management, on quality, and we realize the impact is just huge. That's what initially inspired us to investigate this, and out of our research came a 16-hour training program teaching people how to hold others accountable and how to be accountable. And out of the training program came the book, Crucial Accountability.
Now, tell us about what sets Crucial Accountability apart from other books out there.
I think a lot of books, we irreverently call them shoulda, wanta books. You shoulda, wanta do something. And a lot of books have some good ideas and good theories. What we did is we actually studied effective leaders in business to say what differentiates them from the rest. And we identified 29 different interpersonal skills that these effective leaders use and some basic problem-solving processes they use. And that's what we wrote in the book. So it's what are the skills you need and how do you use them to create accountability, to hold people accountability, to develop responsibility in workers and employees, to improve results. And so this is a skill-based book that takes the research, takes our research, which was watching effective leaders deal with accountability issues, and then we documented what almost anyone can do to become more accountable.
Crucial Accountability is a great book. What are some accountability challenges you've encountered as business consultants for Fortune 500 companies?
You know, the number one, without question, is people, leaders, peers, creating an expectation or a commitment from someone, and then when the person doesn't follow through, they don't address it. They don't speak up. They don't say anything about it. Saw one supervisor who I was interviewing, and they looked, and one of the workers came in 20 minutes late, and the supervisor rolled his eyes, and he looked at me like, "What are you going to do?" And then we continued talking. I said, "Are you going to go talk to him?" And he goes, "No, it'll just create a big stink." He said, "I think he'll get the point over time." And what we find is when you don't hold people accountable, that instead of them getting the point over time, what they learn is, I guess it's not that important. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess the boss isn't really serious about this. And we find that lack of accountability, that lackadaisical attitude is contagious. It spreads on a team. And it takes not only the original problem, being late, but it starts translating into other problems about standards and about work and effectiveness. And we see a general deterioration on the entire work team when the supervisor doesn't hold people accountable.
Crucial Accountability, Tools for Resolving Violated Expectations, Broken Commitments, and Bad Behavior. Speaking of one of the 4 co-authors today here on the program, what advice can you give to managers struggling with irresponsible employees? Is it different than advice for employees with irresponsible managers?
You know, it's not different. we find accountability is created one relationship at a time, and whether you're going up the chain of command or going down the chain of command, it's the same set of skills. And it begins with what we call the hazardous half minute. We find what you say and do in the first 30 seconds of a crucial accountability conversation sets the train on the track. And the direction of the train means it's going to end up in San Francisco or New York. And in a crucial accountability conversation, if you started off wrong, it's going to go in a bad place. If you started off right, then it almost always goes in the direction of building accountability. That hazardous half minute, what do you do in the first 30 seconds? And can I share with you 2 skills that we found make a huge difference?
Yes, go ahead.
The first skill, it's a mental skill. You do it before you even open your mouth. And what we found is the reason a lot of people avoid accountability conversations is because they go so badly, and it creates bad feelings and often arguments. And it's often because of the way they started the last one created such a hubbub, they say, boy, I'm not going to do that again. What we often do wrong is we begin with an assumption that the other person is bad and wrong. So let's say Fred was supposed to get me a report Monday at 8 o'clock. It's now Monday at noon and there's no report. I go, that idiot, he knew he was supposed to get it to me by 8 o'clock. It's not here. He doesn't even care about me or what problems he causes for me. He doesn't even care about this company. He's evil and selfish. When we make judgments of others about why they didn't perform as expected, it creates in us very strong emotions, usually anger and stress. Now, when we go talk to the person carrying those emotions, what we tend to do is lash out, use accusations, labels, say, you idiot, you don't even care enough about this company to get the report to me on time. Well, when you lash out or start with a conversation with an accusation, it creates defensiveness, right? And the other person draws their sword and raises their shield, and the fight's on. Instead of that, the little skill is when someone lets you down or doesn't keep a commitment, you just ask yourself, now wait a minute, why would a reasonable, rational, decent person do that? Why would a reasonable, rational, decent person not get me the report on time? Well, it could be they're lazy and they just don't care. That's one option. Another possibility is I wonder if they had computer problems. A third possibility, I wonder if the boss put them on another task instead of the one they agreed to do for me. Now, which of those is true? I don't know. Maybe I ought to talk to him. So I'm not saying assume everyone's motives are good. I'm not saying give someone a knife and turn your back and hope for the best. What I'm saying is don't assume the worst. Don't assume the worst. Say, I'm not sure why they didn't do it. Maybe I ought to talk to them. And we found just by asking that little question, why would a reasonable, rational, decent person not deliver as promised, you start creating other possibilities other than the worst, and your anger subsides, and now you've created an emotional state that'll help you be more successful. Not many people know that little skill, and we found that the very best use that almost all the time.
Crucial accountability, tools for resolving violated expectations, broken commitments, and bad behavior is available on Amazon as well as most major book retailers. How can business accountability practices be applied to everyday life?
Boy, I believe that some of the biggest frustrations in our personal relationships are because of accountabilities. My spouse said she'd do something and didn't do it. We agreed on the budget, and then my spouse made a purchase that he or she said she wouldn't. And we all of a sudden realize they've let me down. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. Or with children, you make an agreement that your 14-year-old son's going to clean his room by the time you get home from work. You get home from work and it's a pigsty. How we handle those moments actually create our relationships. When we go to a movie and have a good time, that's fun, but what really creates our relationships is how we handle those tough moments when someone lets us down or doesn't keep their commitments, when our expectations are violated, or they engage in bad behavior. How we handle that says we have an emotionally mature, responsible relationship, or, in fact, we just hurt each other and cause problems. So I think crucial accountability applies a whole lot in our personal lives as well as the work life.
Crucial accountability, tools for resolving violated expectations, broken commitments, and bad behavior is available everywhere. We're speaking with Ron McMillan, one of the 4 co-authors on this great read. What do you think is the most important aspect of accountability?
The most important aspect? Boy, James, that's a good question. I think the most important aspect of accountability is the other person knowing that if you create an accountability with them, you will have a conversation with them about that accountability. And if it went well, that'll be a conversation where you praise them and thank them. If it goes poorly, that'll be a conversation where you diagnose why they didn't do what they said they were going to do, and you help them understand the consequences of doing or not doing what they agreed to, and create a new accountability. And over several of those conversations, you actually create a relationship where you can count on each other to do what you agreed to do. And when you have that kind of relationship, it's amazing what kind of work can get done. It's amazing how much you can delegate and spread around. It's amazing what can be accomplished in a team or an organization or a family.
Crucial accountability is available everywhere. Ron, do you have a website or anything we can direct listeners to?
Yes, thank you for asking. Our company is called Vital Smarts. It's the skills people need to know to increase personal and team vitality. So Vital Smarts is our website, vitalsmarts.com. And if they go to the website, they can learn all about the book, about audio tapes. They can also learn about the training. We train corporate trainers who then train crucial accountability in their organizations. Right now, 300 of the Fortune 500 companies use our training because it really works. It really makes a difference.
Well, it's amazing stuff. Good luck on the book. We'll talk soon.
Thank you for having me on your program, James, and thanks for the service you're providing all your listeners.
Definitely. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir. Thanks. Want to make some real money in no time? Want to take your family on a Disney World cruise? Or how about travel to Europe? Maybe you just want some supplemental income. Now you can do it all in 12 weeks. That's right, using our easy 4-step formula for financial freedom. Making money has never been easier. Take action and start planning that family vacation you've always wanted. Isn't it time you started making what you're worth? $15,000 in 12 weeks. We dare you to make more money. Check it out today. 15K in 12weeks.com. That's the number 15K, the number 12 weeks.com.
It's a Minute Report for America. The Halloween pumpkins have just been taken away by the garbage trucks, but already the annual war against Christmas has commenced. According to an organization called Alliance Defending Freedom, these attacks have begun earlier this year. The biggest culprits are generally found in the public school system, where a complete misunderstanding of the First Amendment, or generally a Grinch-like attitude on the part of administrators, leads to the banning of Christmas music. This year, some schools in portions of Wisconsin, New Jersey, and California are off to an early start in the crusade to silence the wonderful sound of carols. Wisconsin's Wausau School District tried to eliminate Yuletide concerts unless just about every other religion's songs were included in the holiday concerts. A public outcry reversed that decision. New Jersey's Bordentown Regional School District said that any song with a religious overtone would have to be omitted from winter concerts. The Alliance protested and succeeded in stopping that edict. In California, the Gilroy Unified School District canceled the practice of allowing their choirs to perform in religious venues, sites that were selected for their beauty and acoustics. Despite protest, the ban still stands. In addition to being a key religious observance, Christmas celebrations and song are a central part of Western culture. To completely divorce the beauty and pageantry of the Noel from our civic life is to deny one of the most beautiful portions of our heritage. I'm Frank Vernuccio. Read more at usagovpolicy.com.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program. Why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help.
Pagtulong.
Hope.
Pag-asa.
Love.
Pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
Some sequester politics. And also we're going to chat a little bit about his book and find out how that's doing on the book charts. So, Robert Patrick Lewis, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
Pretty good, actually. Now, talk to me a little bit about this sequester situation. What is the sequester and why is it affecting all of us?
Well, the sequester is actually it's a fancy term they've used for a stopgap for the money problems. If you'll remember back about a year ago, everybody was arguing about the fiscal cliff, and we went over. So now the sequester is the result of that. It's basically us having to tighten our belt.
We've got Robert Patrick Lewis with us today. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com is his official website. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com. And the book, Love Me When I'm Gone, is available for purchase on the website. How does this affect our military, my friend?
It's affecting our military in a lot of really unfortunate ways. It's cutting out the budget. You know, that's one of the basic things they did is they said this is a stopgap. They said if we can't agree on how to not go over the fiscal cliff, then we're just going to cut, this certain amount of money, a couple $1 billion from the DoD budget. And we went over. So that's it. There's just no questions about it. It's a hatchet, taking a couple $1 billion off of the DoD budget. So it's affecting everything. Bullets, people, every single thing in our military.
We've got Robert Patrick Lewis with us today. The unintended and intended consequences of the sequester politics. One of the new footballs being tossed around in D.C. and in the media is this issue of the sequester. Regardless of your position, it seems like that our government does not cut something. We need to raise taxes or spending increases. There's all sorts of different things here. It appears that the cutting of the choices, whether for show or for dough, will hurt those who already have been hurt and protecting us. And we've got Robert Patrick Lewis with us today. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com is his website. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com. And the book, Love Me When I'm Gone, is available on the website as well. What benefits to active military are being affected by the sequester, my friend?
You know, there's a lot of them, but the biggest one that I see people get up in arms about so far is the tuition assistance plan. Up to this point, if you went into the military, you basically got tuition assistance. If you wanted to go to school while you were on active duty, the Army paid for it, the military paid for it. And then, of course, once you get out, there's the post-9/11 GI Bill. Well, at the same time that they cut this completely, they just stopped it. They cut it and said, due to sequestration, active duty military will no longer have tuition assistance. They approved a plan for illegal immigrants to get the same tuition plan they're just taken away from combat veterans.
We've got Robert Patrick Lewis with us today here on the big broadcast. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com is the website, LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com. Also, the book, Love Me When I'm Gone, is available everywhere. This situation just seems to be getting worse and worse with the sequester. What the heck exactly can we do to fix all this, or is there something to do?
Yeah, and it's one of the things that really gets me riled up. I've got my own podcast called Far From Center now, and my first episode was just basically an hour of me ranting about this. Most of our politicians these days, unfortunately, have no military experience. They might have a son that, for show, they shipped him off to the military, but John McCain, they're kind of few and far between now. Most of our guys don't have any military experience, and so when somebody talks about cutting the budget of the DoD or trimming the fat, people get up in arms because they don't realize just how much of a culture of waste and spending our military is right now. And there are a lot of places we can cut the fat.
Well, what do you suggest on some of this?
Well, I'll tell you one big thing, and most people don't know about this that have never been in the military, but everybody that's been in the military knows about it. There's this thing called end of the year buy, and it's my biggest complaint about the way the military goes. The way the military works, or any government entity that you work for these days, because they're so great at being efficient, the way they spend money is you're allocated a budget. So say I'm allocated $100,000 this year, and in all reality, it would probably be $100 million for a tank unit or an airplane unit. But if I'm allocated this money and I don't spend all of it this year, I'm punished, because if I only spend $80,000, then next year I'm not going to get $100,000. Next year I'm only going to get $80,000. So at the end of every year, commanders look at their budget and go, oh, geez, we didn't spend all of our money yet. So even though they may have bought everything that they need, they go, we got $20,000 or $20 million or whatever it is left over that we have to spend on Oakley sunglasses or chewing gum or whatever it is. We just got to spend that money. And that's the entire military. Think about all the units, all the commanders, all the millions and billions of dollars going into the military. Every unit has to do this every year, because if they don't spend every penny, they're going to get punished and get less money next year. And so not only is it having less finances, but it also goes onto their OER. So the way an officer or a non-commissioned officer are judged and basically graded is on these evaluation reports. Number one bullet point, how much money you're in control of, or how much money worth of equipment you're in control of. So it's in nobody's best interest to save the money with the way that our military is currently set up.
We've got Robert Patrick Lewis with us today here on the big broadcast, talking about the intended and unintended consequences of sequester politics. And Robert with us today. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com is his website. Also, Love Me When I'm Gone, the book, is available over there as well. What effects does this have on veterans and their families, my man?
That's that's one of the scariest parts, is what it's doing to our families and the veterans that have already come home. I've been looking over this list of all these different things that they're cutting. Health cuts. They're going to be basically ransacking the civilian jobs on post. Well, one of those things is going to be providers, civilian doctors. A majority of the military providers on bases are civilians. That's all being cut. The commissary, which is the military grocery stores that are on bases, it's a way, they're cheaper than, an H-E-B or Ralph's or whatever grocery store you have in your local area. It's a little bit cheaper. It's kind of a way to make up for the military not getting paid very much money. Those are all going to be closed on Wednesdays. They're having a hiring freeze, so they're going to be down with staff. The schools are getting cut 9.4%. They're going to cut the teachers. They're going to cut everybody involved in the schools. They're going to cut the social services. They're going to cut spousal employment. They're going to cut all the civilian employment. They've already cut tuition assistance. They're cutting the WIC program, 8.2% for the Women, Infants, and Children program. They're cutting child care. They're cutting everything essentially there to help spouses and to help the families of our soldiers while they're deployed.
Wow. We've got Rubber Patrick Lewis with us today. The intended and unintended consequences of the sequester and sequester politics. Also check out lovemewhenimgone.com. The book, Love Me When I'm Gone, is available everywhere. And how do these effects spill over onto the rest of us, my friend?
Well, it is. I mean, there are unintended consequences everywhere. There are a lot of towns that basically survive on their military base. I was in 10th Special Forces Group. I was actually in 1st of the 10th. And 1st of the 10th started in Germany in a town called Bad Tolls. We used to have our base there. We were the only military unit. And this town basically thrived around the base because all the civilians worked there. We brought money into the town. We brought all these other contractors in town, and the town thrived. A general decided they wanted to move us, and it crushed the town. And this is going to happen in every town in America that this is in. I was in the infantry in the beginning of my Army career, so I was in Fort Benning, Georgia, and up at Fort Bragg, and all these other towns that are huge military towns. As the military stops hiring civilians in those local towns, all of a sudden everybody there is unemployed. The money that used to flow into that community is all going to be gone. So it's going to have a lot of knock-on effects here for the economy.
We've got Rubber Patrick Lewis joining us today here on the big broadcast, talking about this situation with the intended and unintended consequences of sequester politics. Is it fair to call this a big political game, my man?
That's all it is, and that's what makes me livid, is that it is a game. But I saw a really funny thing on Facebook the other day, and people are saying, if you put Congress, if you put their money on the table, not just their budget, but their paycheck. If you said you guys aren't going to get paid until you get this settled down, or you guys go on minimum wage, this would be fixed tomorrow. But they're not. They're shoving it, of course, off the table. And that's why it is. It's a big game. They're saying they have to cut education. They cut the tuition assistance for soldiers, but they have enough money. They did it for illegal aliens. They still have enough money to spend $600,000 on Joe Biden's limo fees. They had to shut down White House tours, but they had a private concert last night at the White House. It's all a game. That's all it is. And it's not left, it's not right, it's not Republican, it's Democrat. They're all in cahoots against us as Americans because they don't take it seriously. It's all a big game to them.
Well, I've been saying this for a long time that it's all a big shell game, and it doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. We're all getting screwed.
It is, and I saw a really funny meme last night on Facebook that said, "I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American, and I want my country back." And that's the God's honest truth. I think a lot of people feel like that now because it's just a dog and pony show making us feel like we matter, but in the end, they couldn't care less about us.
We've got Rubber Patrick Lewis joining us today here on the line, talking about his book, Love Me When I'm Gone, also lovemewhenimgone.com, and the intended, unintended consequences of sequester politics. What is being done to help our military families here, my friend?
Well, unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of help from the government, but fortunately, there are great organizations out there like USA Cares that step up when the government drops the ball. One of the biggest problems with the government, the VA, anybody else, is they're slow to react, and they usually don't come through with their promises, as we're seeing right now. Thankfully, we got groups out there like USA Cares that do. They're on the scene almost immediately. They come through with all their promises, and they're doing a lot to help a lot of people that are going to be falling through the cracks as these sequestration cuts really start to hit our military.
We've got Rubber Patrick Lewis joining us today here on the line, talking about the intended and unintended consequences of sequester politics. And how does USA Cares work? I know we kind of talked a little bit there, but delve into that for me.
Well, it's a great organization. We basically like to call them the first responders for the military. For active duty and veterans, they're the first responders for financial assistance. It's a great organization. They provide grants, not loans. So it's not, if they give you money to help you out, you don't owe them back with interest. It's a grant. They're helping you out. They're also not giving money directly to the soldiers. They're paying off their debts directly. They've got stories of calling tow truck drivers while the car was up, about to be towed out of their driveway to be repossessed, calling them, putting on the credit card, paying it off right there. People keep their car. I have my Far From Center podcast, and I read a USA Cares Minute on every episode, and these stories really move me inside, because I read stuff about families of 6 where they couldn't put food on the table. You got a private, an E2 or an E3, that is not making a lot of money. I mean, I went into the Army as an E4. I couldn't even afford to pay off my college loans. I was making less than $1,000 a month. I mean, that's not a lot of money on living wages these days, and it really is. It's a reality in these tough economic times. If you've got a family of 4 or 5 and you've only got one job, and that's your military job, and you're not an officer or a higher enlisted guy, you're not making a ton of money, and it's tough to make ends meet. Great organizations like USA Cares, they swoop in there when you're having trouble. They keep the lights on, they keep the food on the table, and they keep the home intact.
We've got a great guy with us today. Robert Patrick Lewis is with us. LoveMeWhenI'mGone.com is his website. He's also got the book, Love Me When I'm Gone. It's available on the website as well. What sets them apart from other organizations, the USA Cares organization?
There's a lot of things, and that was, when I decided I was going to write Love Me When I'm Gone, I really wanted to affiliate with a charity because I wanted to use it to do as much good as I could for other veterans and other military. And when I started looking around, I wasn't too happy, because a lot of these organizations out there, they're cumbersome, they're bureaucratic, and they spend more money on themselves, on their admin and their advertising, than they do on the people. Well, and then I was lucky enough to come across USA Cares, and I fell in love with these guys immediately. They spend very little on themselves. And it's one of the few organizations, if you look at, a good majority of the money that you donate actually goes to what you're donating, rather than their own offices or their own whatever, which a lot of these other charities do. USA Cares gives a large portion of that money to the soldiers that you're donating to. They're there very quickly. Once a request is put in at usacares.org, they respond within 48 hours, and then their actual help comes extremely quickly. That's, the stories like I was telling you about, where they're literally calling tow truck drivers that are in the driveway. You're not going to get that with any other organization.
We've got Robert Patrick Lewis joining us today here on the line, and before I let you go, my friend, how's the book doing?
It's doing great. It's doing great. I'm really excited about it. I've been getting a lot of tweets and a lot of emails, a lot of Facebook messages and messages on the website about other veterans that have told me that it's helped them, other families of veterans that have told me it helped them understand their vet, and it's great, because that's exactly why I wrote it, and I couldn't be happier.
We've got an amazing guest with us today. Robert Patrick Lewis joins us. He is with us today to chat about the book, also chat about the situation with the folks over there. We're going to take a quick little time out here. Robert, thanks for doing this, my friend, and I definitely want to have you back.
Hey, brother, thanks for having me. I'll be back anytime you need me.
Definitely. Well, have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon.
All right, brother, you too.
Appreciate it. We're going to take a quick time out here. When we get back, we've got more.
Help stop the worst practice in the world, cremation without banking their precious DNA. Visit www.dnaliveforever.com. Remember, DNA is the blueprint for life, and www.dnaliveforever.com is the action plan for that blueprint. Amen. Here's an interesting fact. 6 trillion seconds equals 180,000 years. With 100 trillion cells in your body, each with a complex computer program, why not? www.dnaliveforever.com. Don't gamble. Visit, read, and understand www.dnaliveforever.com.
People place thousands of dollars a year into their 401ks only to see a small return. It's time you really invest in your future and take those ideas you have and start working on making them a reality. Networking is vital to making the right connections, and for less than $25, you can be networking with investors and entrepreneurs on December 3rd during How to Get Funding from a Shark 2. Last year's event sold out, so don't miss out on your opportunity to change your life for less than $25 and an hour to network with some of the industry's most successful investors and professionals. Secure your spot now for How to Get Funding from a Shark 2 on December 3rd with silver level packages starting as low as $20 when you visit sme.vc today. Remember, last year's event sold out. Don't miss this opportunity for less than $25. sme.vc. sme.vc.
Help,
Pagtulong,
hope,
pag-asa,
love.
pag-ibig.
That is what the people of the Philippines need from us right now. Hope and love come from your heart. You can give that right now with your thoughts and prayers. Help is more tangible. Make a tangible difference in the lives of the 9.5 million people in the Philippines affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. Please make a monetary donation right now to the Philippine Disaster Recovery Foundation at pdrf.org. Thank you.
Salamat.
(24/7, 365) and available worldwide on the internet. This is the #1 talk show online, the world famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Back here on the big broadcast, we've got a tremendous guest with us today. Robert Mazur's back with us. He has the incredible website, www.the-infiltrator.com. He's with us today to talk about DC protection of dirty banks in jeopardy. And Robert Mazur joins us. He is the former DEA undercover agent and author of The Infiltrator, My Secret Life Inside the Dirty Banks Behind Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel. And Senator Elizabeth Warren has set her sights on getting stiffer penalties for banks and that launder drug money. And Senator Warren pressed administration appointees of her own party with a simple question. In your opinion, how many billions of dollars do you have to launder for drug lords before somebody says we're shutting you down? And that brings us to our guest, Robert Mazur. Robert, how are you doing today? What did you think of this?
I'm doing fine. Well, I'm really proud of Senator Warren. I think that not only is what she's doing remarkable, but the fact that she's grilling
Salina, Kansas. It's gonna get wild. Tuesday, December 10th in the 4-H building at the Salina Expo Center. Dixon Promotions proudly presents Wayne Static of Static X. Wayne Static and the current members of Static X performing all of your favorite Static X music. Also featuring Slow Reveal and King Shifter, with special guests direct from the UK, The Defiled, and from LA, Mad Life. Destroyer! Oh, you do it again! You do it again! Destroyer! Wayne Static and Static X. Mark it down. Tuesday, December 10th, Salina, Kansas. Show starts at 7 p.m. sharp. Get your advance tickets now for $20 at CD Trade Post and the Paramount Bar. Or online at Ticketstorm.com. $25 the day of the show. Don't miss Wayne Static. Brought to you by Dixon Promotions.
Live entertainment at the Cotillion Ballroom. It's Jackal. Live at the Cotillion Ballroom. Friday, November 22nd, Jackal.
You ready to kick that dog? Jackal style.
With Jesse James Dupree and Jackal. It's a full throttle blow. These redneck rockers are taking over the neighborhood. Friday, November 22nd, one big night with Jackal. Spend the night with Jesse James Dupree and Jackal. Friday night party fun at the Cotillion Ballroom with Jackal. Never miss a show. Visit our no-service fee box office. Buy online at thecotillion.com. On our Facebook page. Call 316-722-4201. Use the Cotillion iPhone app available on iTunes. 50 plus years of musical fun. The Cotillion Ballroom. Friday, November 22nd. Jackal.
Talk with Jiggy right now at 1-866-763-1242 and email jiggyjaguar@jiggyjaguar.com.
Welcome back to the big broadcast, known the world over as Jiggy Jaguar Radio Show from the Train City Worldwide Studios in the great Salt City of Hutchinson, Kansas. We are live 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific. 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com on the TuneIn apps and Radio Loyalty. Our podcast is available at JiggyJaguar.com. And Rachna from Popbox joins us. She wraps up our Tuesday edition each and every week, coming to us live from POPVOX.com, Popbox.com. Rachna, how are you doing on this day after Veterans Day? How are you?
Pretty good, except it's cold here. It feels like winter now, but I shouldn't be complaining.
Yes, it is. It is cold here in the great Salt City known as Hutchinson, Kansas, as well. It's probably colder where you are, but it's getting there for us. Let's talk about Veterans Day. It is. We were one of the few radio programs that was on live yesterday. It didn't have a fill-in host or a best of. We talked with Frank Bernuccio earlier from USAGovPolicy.com. He said he was volunteering in his neighborhood, and I understand that you guys at Popbox were doing a bunch of different things with Veterans Day. So at least there were at least 3 people yesterday that were actually honoring veterans instead of just taking the day off.
Exactly. And what? Yes, I was working, and what we did was we compiled a list of all the proposals before Congress that have to do with veterans, and it was a long list to put together. But that's not saying that these have passed Congress. These are just being proposed.
What are some of the different things going on over there? I know Congress is passing a cost of living increase for disabled veterans. Is that?
Yes. And surprisingly, that's been the only bill that has that will be sent to the president for his signature this week. That has to do with veterans, and basically, this is a cost of living adjustment that they do annually for compensation for service-connected disabilities and for survivor benefits for certain disabled veterans. So this is just your standard increase, just like Social Security cost of living increases. They do this as well. And unfortunately, the 100 or so other proposals to improve the lives of veterans haven't been considered, at least this week. So hopefully putting together lists, people weighing in on Popbox, writing letters to their member of Congress about veterans issues, we hope will bring awareness. People will share their stories, and Congress will take some action that's appropriate.
Now, why do you think some of these bills are not getting passed or have yet to really get voted on or whatever?
I often think that there's thousands of bills introduced, but then the ones that oftentimes get attention are the ones that are the newsmakers. Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is consistently a bill that keeps getting new votes on, and I think a lot of times other bills that are equally important just take much longer to pass. And to put it in perspective, about 4% of bills that are pending before Congress are actually passed into law. So this is like a multi-year process. Yeah, and oftentimes I tell Popbox users not to get frustrated because the way the system is set up, it's difficult for Congress to pass bills. There's a lot of steps involved before a bill can become law, and you just have to keep sharing your voice, keep getting other people to weigh in, and then hopefully one day your issue will prevail.
We've got Rachna with us today from popvox.com. That's POPVOX.com. It's an incredible website. And talking Veterans Day today, we were just talking there about the cost of living increase. Congress is considering another Obamacare bill this week. There's a lot of people that there's a couple blogs and a few articles out there that have said that they're going to try to repeal this, or they're going to do something. Is this that bill, or what is this bill?
Well, they've tried many times to repeal all or part of the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare.
Yeah.
But this bill, and it seems like every week when we talk, I have a new Obamacare update for you. But this bill is just, slightly different than the others. This is called the Keep Your Health Plan Act, and it would allow insurance companies to continue offering the same insurance plans, even if they don't meet the requirements of the Affordable Care Act.
Now, explain this to me, because I don't really understand this keep your health care, because aren't a lot of those bills just gone at this point?
Well, so all this would allow people to do is keep their existing health insurance plans. And this is something that was discussed previously. The president had said, if you like your health insurance, you can keep it. And now that the Affordable Care Act is in place, people are finding that that's not necessarily the case. So the Republicans in the House, and the leadership is Republican in the House, they're saying that this legislation is needed in order to ensure that President Obama's promise that people can keep their plans if they like it will come true. And the House will be voting on this on Friday, but it's still not clear how the Democrats in the House are going to react to this, and where those votes are going to come in with that. But at the same time, Democrats have proposed a similar bill in the Senate. And so this might be, gaining momentum, and this bill might actually pass the House and perhaps even the Senate.
Rachna from Popvox joins us today here on the broadcast. If you want to get more information on Popvox, you can go over to popvox.com. And Rachna, tell us a little bit about we have a lot of new listeners this week. Tell us a little bit about Popvox and how people can get involved in this. This is such a cool website.
Absolutely. So Popvox is a platform that I created along with my team about 2 years ago to help people connect with their members of Congress. And a lot of times, when you're watching TV or listening to the radio, you just hear about the controversial bills pending before Congress.
Yep.
And, Obamacare, for example. But you don't see the breadth of bills that Congress is considering. So what we're trying to do is give individuals information on every bill that's pending before Congress. And so far this year alone, there's been over 6,000 bills that have been introduced on issues ranging from immigration to horses to the environment. So whatever your issue is, you can find what Congress is doing about that issue, and then you can write your own letter to your member of Congress. And what makes us so unique is that we aggregate all of those letters, so in real time you can see support or opposition for every single bill pending before Congress. And that shows you strength in numbers, and it gives you a pulse check on what Congress is hearing.
Rachna from Popvox with us today. popvox.com is the website. Why did you guys decide to call it Popvox? I've never asked you that question.
That's a great question. So, and naming a website takes forever because you have to think of, all these creative things. But Popvox in Latin is short for people's voice. And in the literal meaning of people's voice in Latin is vox populi. So we shortened that up and made it catchy and made it into Popvox.
That's really cool.
It's the people's voice, yes.
Now, Popvox users, how easy of a process is it to become a Popvox user?
Well, it's free to join, and that's pretty important. And it's just really easy. We ask you to find a bill that you care about, and then you write a letter to Congress. We ask for your home address as well as your email address, and that's information that we must have in order to pass along to your member of Congress. This isn't like a petition where, you can just sign your name as Mickey Mouse and that's that. This is an actual, an actual way to communicate with Congress. So we ask for that information so we can verify you, so we know you're an actual constituent. So when Congress receives your letter, they actually know you're a real person and they're more likely to respond to you.
We've got Rachna with us today from Pop Vox, and she joins us each and every Tuesday around this time to discuss some of the different issues of the day and some of the different laws and different bills that are available over there on Pop Vox for you to browse. Now, this veteran, a couple veterans bills here that we've been discussing. How quick do you think something like that will get to the president, and will he sign it, or what are some of your feelings on this?
Well, with the Veterans Cost of Living Adjustment, the Senate passed it last week, and then, as you know, once the Senate passes a bill, it has to go to the House for the House to pass the bill. This shouldn't be a problem. They should be able to pass this perhaps tonight or tomorrow. And as long as both versions of the bill, the House bill and the Senate bill, are identical, then that bill will go to the president for his signature. So this should be done by the end of the week at the latest. But some bills take longer, and when you look at the more complicated issues like the budget, for example, they have to create a committee to reconcile the differences between the House version and the Senate version, which then could take, sometimes weeks, sometimes months to do. So hopefully this bill will be a very simple one to make into law, but oftentimes it's way more complicated than that. And from our user's standpoint, sometimes it can get frustrating to